Hey guys, Momula here, and in this video, I'm going to give you a brief introduction into tracking keywords, the tools to use, and the tools that I use to track all my keywords across all my several portfolio sites and my client sites, and the kind of competitive advantage and the kind of shortcut to ranking your websites above your competitors and kind of keeping them there. So this is a really important video. I'm going to try to keep it kind of generally short, but stay with me and I'll show you a really cool case study at the bottom. So, why would you track keywords? So, first of all, keyword tracking is the process of monitoring the positions of your websites, web pages for specific keywords. So, essentially, you'll see as I go through the video, you're going to insert your keywords into a tool or maybe use Google search, and you're going to find where your posts and your pages are ranking. Now, doing this process allows you to see if your website is ranking for keywords that you're targeting throughout your entire website. So you can do it for a silo, so a category of keywords. You can do it for just one page, or you can do it across the entire website. It's really down to you. But having the ability to categorize is important. Now, some of the benefits of tracking your keywords are as follows. The tracking search rankings has three generally main benefits. The first one is it can help you improve your SEO by showing which pages that need to be optimized. Pretty simple. Secondly, it identifies which keywords bring the most traffic to your website. Again, super simple. And lastly, it allows you to monitor competitors and target their weaknesses to outperform them. Now, that one kind of makes the most sense in terms of having to outrank competitors. But all three benefits are the reasons why I consistently and every single day track my keywords across my portfolio of sites. And because of that reason, I think every single website should do it. It's very simple to do, as you're going to see in this video, and it really does make a difference. Instead of kind of just going in the dark and not knowing what posts to update and what posts to what silos to build out, you get to understand what works and what doesn't work and why, which is important. Okay, so how do you actually do keyword tracking? Now, there's two kind of main ways. There's the traditional way, and this method is considered a classic when it comes to keyword tracking. And here, a website owner can manually check for a keyword to see if their web pages are ranking on search engines by actually putting it into the search engine. So essentially, you go into Google, you type in your main keyword, and you'd see where the position is in the search engine. Now, sometimes Google tends to give out different results to each user because of the personalization features. So it's not considered the best way to do it. It's obviously free, so it works. Of course, Google's going to consider loads of different aspects to each search and each user. So, for example, your location, your language, your device history, etc. So, of course, if I'm in the UK and I'm putting in best lawnmower for cutting short grass, I'm going to get a totally different set of results as someone that's in the States or Canada, etc. So, this usually isn't the best, the most accurate way, but it is a free way to use. Now, generally, I would suggest we go down the second route, which is usually paid tools, also some free tools, and I'm going to go through that right now. So you can use keyword tracking tools. These are really, really accurate, very effective, and there are a ton of different kind of SEO tools you can use. So first one that I'm going to talk about is Ahrefs. I think SEMrush has something similar as well, but I generally use Ahrefs. So here's a example of one of the rank trackers screens and pages that I use. I've got a ton of different campaigns here. There's more than four, but I've just kind of screenshotted the first four. You can see the share of device, the average position, the traffic, the SERP features, and positions overall for your set of keywords. You can add in different silos for each website, and then you have just a lot of different targeting features that you can add or exclude for each keyword or set of keywords as well. Generally, Ahrefs is extremely comprehensive, so they're going to give you as much data as possible. That's why I kind of suggest to use them. Of course, they're well known for backlinks and SEO analysis, and it's one of the best tools that I use generally for tracking keywords in real time. The pros for that is they generally have a complete SEO suite and a tool. The only issue is Ahrefs is expensive. Very expensive if I'm being honest. So bear that in mind, but again, you kind of do get what you pay for sometimes. So the first place is Ahrefs. Definitely recommend that. The second place, and this is more on the budget side, but again, it works almost exactly the same, is a place called SERP Robot. If you haven't heard about SERP Robot, it allows you to see your ranking data, check your highest traffic driving keywords, and just generally shows you competitor insights. So again, very simple to use. Just head over to serprobot.com. This is one of my accounts here. Again, I have several campaigns within SERP Robot. And the cool thing is, again, you can set up for different pages, different categories. You can search across different locations. You can choose device types. So, for example, if you want to check desktop keyword tracking against mobile keyword tracking, you can do that. It's very, very simple to use as well. I do like SERPro, if I'm being honest. The pros are that it's free to start again, so kind of for anyone's budget it will work. And then I think after about 100 or so searches or queries per day, they charge $5 for each additional bot, which is essentially just it's a robot that goes through the search results and checks the data for you. But it's very, very cheap, to be honest. $5 for extra searches is super cheap, and you can always upgrade to slightly higher services. The only cons of that is sometimes you will need more bots if you've got like a big site. So for example, if you have 500 pages and you want a bot to crawl every single page every single day, it's going to be a little bit expensive, but more reasonable than Ahrefs, definitely. It's probably the place to go if you're just looking to track keywords by itself. So I definitely recommend that. There is another place as well, and this is probably the best place actually, that is maybe overlooked. Now, you may be aware of Google Search Console. You're definitely aware of that it tracks all the data, but it's one of the best places to find keywords if you're able to access that data and know where to look. So Google Search Console is a free service, of course. It's offered by Google that helps you to monitor, maintain, and troubleshoot your site's presence in the Google search results. Now, this is one of my client site actually, and it's just showing you the growth of that site. And once you go into Google Search Console's insights, you can plug in any page that you want, and then you can see the keywords that it's ranking for, and then you can actually go ahead and check the positions of those rankings as well if you go down deeper into the data. So Google Search Console is really, really cool, and definitely the first place that you want to start. Now, of course, the pros is that it's free and it has all the data. The cons is sometimes it can be a little bit tricky to identify the keywords, and it's obviously not its sole use isn't to track keywords. It's got a ton of different reasons why you'd use Google Search Console, and it's also not updated in real time. So you usually have to wait a few days to see the data, which can be a bit annoying sometimes. So that's fantastic. We've got the 3 or 4 different ways to track keywords. Now, the question usually people ask me is, okay, that's good, but what do we do with that data? So we've got all that data, we understand that it's there, but what do we do with it? And the 4 things that I would recommend is these 4 below. So first of all, you want to actually figure out what content needs to be refreshed. So based on the keywords that are ranking very well, and probably some of those that aren't, you want to start to keep a Google Sheet open or a document open and just jot down specific posts that you need to do some work on. So for example, some on-page SEO, or maybe you need to do some more keyword research and rechange the page to focus and target a new keyword. All right. Secondly, of course, you want to check your competitor analysis. You want to see what keywords or silos or posts are outranking your competitors and which ones aren't, and then try to figure the reason for why that is. So for example, maybe you need to build out a topical silo and outrank your competitors in that way. Possibly you need to add more content, or maybe you need to add some more images and just make the page look a lot more user-friendly. So check why your competitor is above you and then try to follow suit. Of course, sometimes you need to probably be aware that some keywords may just be too competitive for you to target with your current domain rating, with your current topical setup, with your current word count, etc. So there are some keywords that you may just not be able to rank for. Maybe you're going to need a lot more backlinks. So bear that in mind as well. And then here's the cool thing. So once you actually figure out what is working and what's not, then the next thing to do is just kind of rank it up. Now, for me, one of the main reasons why I use tracking keyword tools, as you've seen above, SERPro, Ahrefs, Google Search Console, is that I get to track keywords that and content that I've just created, and I want to see what's working and what Google is seeing me as relevant for. So if, for example, I have 3 silos, and I've gone ahead and made maybe 20 or 30 pages or whatever it's going to be in those silos, I'm going to track every single silo, every single keyword, and every single post over the next 2 to 6 weeks. And then I'm going to see gradually what is Google seeing me as relevant for. Once I find out what they see me as relevant for, and what I can actually compete against, then I'm going to see very clearly which silo is going to win over another one. And then once I'm happy with it, I'm just going to rank that particular silo up, add more content, add more posts, and become way more topically relevant for that silo. And an example of that here, I want to show you here, is this is one of the client sites that I was working on just over December, coming into January and February of this year. And as you can see, we've done the testing of our silos. We We added in all of the data into Ahrefs so we could see what's ranking and what's not ranking. Then once we figured out what ranks, and as you can see, all of the data is here. So I think all of the posts that we added started in and around the 17th position. And then once it started to rank and we saw what was ranking, we just continue to do what works. So we built out that silo, the one silo that I mentioned that worked really well. And then at the moment now, that particular silo is at position 2.3, it says here. We've got nearly 20% of the share of the SERP results. We've got over 12,000 more visitors per month. And as you can see, our positions have gone up by over 40. So if you get this correct, and if you can actually track your keywords and do it correctly, you're going to see some fantastic upticks in your traffic, which is going to make your website more relevant. It's going to mean you're more competitive against your competition, and it's going to give you an edge essentially against everything that you're doing. So I definitely recommend going through the tools I mentioned above, and I'll leave some links in the description in this video below. But if you're not already tracking keywords, then you definitely need to do it because you're going to see data. And when you have enough data, you can make the right decisions for your niche websites. So hopefully that's been a benefit, a good video for you. If so, feel free to subscribe and like the video below, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.